Ladies and gentlemen, it's late. It's still Easter, and Treyson Eaglestaff is a Mountaineer, baby.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up? Welcome in, guys. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia. We got him. That's right, guys. Treyson Eaglestaff, per ESPN, per Jeff Goodman. And can I just say, per Voice of Morgantown, this dude was on it, man, for days. And I didn't see that reporting anywhere else. People need to give him some credit today because he's been reporting this for days that, bunch of different things. He was the one that told me earlier today that this would be late into the evening, that the Eaglestaff wasn't going to be finishing up his visit till late in the evening. So, I know personally that he was all over this, and people like to hate people, whatever. I'm all about the truth, and he deserves respect on this matter. So make sure you guys give him his props on this because he worked hard. He sourced it. He got to connect, and sometimes that's how it works for people. So I'm all about giving people their due, man, whether you like them or not. It's just how it works. So anyway, let's talk about this, man. And thank you to Coach Hodge. Thank you to Coach Forte, Coach Earl, and everybody that has been involved in this. I'm sure they're really tired. I'm sure they didn't have much of an Easter doing all this recruiting they've been doing, and it's not going to stop as Smurf Millender flies into Morgantown sometime tomorrow, hopefully, God willing, with the weather the way it's been. And I thought, well, what can I tell everybody that I haven't already told them about this kid? So I thought, you know what? Screw it. Let's just go over it all again. But I'm going to do a little bit of a twist on this one. We're going to go from high school, and we're going to go through his time at North Dakota, his time in the portal and all that. So, and just kind of go there. And I've got a lot of information about him that I have kind of been, every time I see something on him or when I was doing my initial research, because I thought I was going to be a few days ago, we got a commitment. I have this stuff here. So I kind of put it all together, and we'll see what we got here. So, all right. So he only had 2 college offers coming out of high school, at least that I could find. That's North Dakota and Abilene Christian. So he chose to stay home, suit up for the North Dakota Flying Hawks, guys. And as a freshman in 21 to 22, he played in 33 games. He started in 11. He averaged 8 points a game. He showed flashes of his scoring knack then. And by his sophomore year, he's a full-time starter, and he went up to 14.5 points a game then, showcasing his three-point prowess and ability to get in the lane. But it was that junior year, the one that's been so fabled now, that we look back on it in 24 and 25, that really turns head nationwide, where he bumped that scoring up to 18.9 points per game, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and became a scoring machine, where he dropped a Summit League record 51 on the head of South Dakota State, or where he dropped 40 on Alabama when they were ranked 6th in the country, going 15 from 30, 50% from the three-point line, 8 of 18 in another game. That's the game that made him the first mid-major player to score 40 against the top 10 team since 2012, putting him on the national radar. And in March, he entered the portal. His phone blew up. Kansas, Kentucky, Gonzaga came calling. Iowa came calling. Others came calling. Florida came calling. Florida State came calling. Pitt came calling. West Virginia came calling. But it was South Carolina, rising SEC program under Coach Lamont Harris, that really got him to take a look. And the Gamecocks saw him as a key piece to replace NBA-bound star Colin Murray-Boyles, guys, who was a really good player for their backcourt last year. Eaglestaff canceled other visits. He said, I'm going to South Carolina. I'm going down south. It's song with the South. Sweet potato pie, shut my mouth. And he was South Carolina bound, where he announced the signing on April 1st. It seemed like a done deal until it wasn't. On just April 16th, just 15 days later, I was able to note here, Eaglestaff shocked the hoops world by decommitting from South Carolina. Citing discussions with the family, guys, he told Jeff Goodman on Bill 68, this was a difficult decision, but this is in the best course of action for my future. Speculation ran wild, dude. Some pointed the finger to South Carolina and their roster flux and then not bringing in the better players to fit around a piece like Eaglestaff that can be ball dominant. Eaglestaff's high usage style, after all, may not mesh with Lamont Paris' system, and others whispered about NIL deals elsewhere. Kentucky and West Virginia emerged as frontrunners, with Kansas and UNC also in the mix. Rumors swirled that West Virginia, under new coach Ross Hodge, was ready to back up the Brinks truck with a reported $1.5 to $2 million NIL deal, which is part of a $5 to $7 million war chest from the Mountaineers. Eaglestaff visited West Virginia yesterday and today. The vibes were electric. West Virginia's staff, known for sealing the deal with recruits on campus, rolled out the red carpet. And on April 20th, 420, the bombshell dropped. Treyson Eaglestaff was going to be a West Virginia Mountaineer, becoming the 7th transfer addition for the Mountaineers in 25-26. And as the news started to roll out, ESPN reported it. Jeff Goodman had reported it. X lit up with fans chanting "Hell, West Virginia." And Eaglestaff joins now a stacked transfer class with Honor Up, Jasper Floyd, Chance Moore, DeAndre Thomas, giving West Virginia a legit shot to compete in the Big 12. Well, why does it matter? Why does any of this matter? It's a good question. Eaglestaff isn't just a scorer, guys. He's a 6'6" guard who can create his own shot, finish in traffic, stretch the floor. He's got a close to 40% three-point shot. And for a West Virginia program that's been rebuilding since Bob Huggins' exit, landing a player who turned down blue blood after blue blood after blue blood like Kansas, Kentucky, and more, this is a statement for Ross Hodge and company. Under DeVries, we were just, right? But under Hodge, we're talking about who are we? We're going to be who we are, right? We are going to be Mountaineers. We're going to be proud of it. And the Eagle has landed in Morgantown, and Mountaineer Nation is ready to soar. I wrote that as we prepared for this live. Hopefully you guys like that. That's what took me so long. I was a little bit late. Like, I felt like I was an author in a dimly lit room in my smoking jacket. I had cats jumping on chairs. I was trying to get a cold dew. It wasn't exactly the scene that I had set for myself to write such a novel. So hopefully the tale of Eaglestaff is a little bit smoother than the tale of me writing the story of Eaglestaff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. But yeah, so this is a big pickup for West Virginia. But what's it mean, guys? I think, is this team going to compete in the Big 12? Is this team going to actually push for a top 4 spot? Let's talk about that next, because they ain't done yet, from what I'm told. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia going to be brought to you by Supply House. Get supplies from the sites you need, guys. That's where the skilled trades are. Supply House. Whether you're plumbing, HVAC, or doing electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 spare parts, 400 top brands, you're going to get exactly what you need, delivered fast from coast to coast, like an Eaglestaff in the lane. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support, industry-leading service, and you're always going to talk to a real person, not an AI bot. And trade pros, if you're looking for that hard edge, not an extra edge like it says here, I put in a hard edge. Their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are talking and they're taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use promo code S-H-5 for 5% off your first order, and do it today. Supplyhouse.com. I wish I had a drum roll thing. I do have, by the way, thanks to Fester, I do have this cool Steam Deck here. I could probably need to put some noises on it and stuff, because if I had noises on it right now, what I would do is I would hit the drum roll thing. It's segment 2. Let's crack a do. Let's do it, guys. It's segment 2. Let's crack a do. That's a little bit more energetic. Oh, man, it went on my, I splashed on my mouse. I'll let you interpret that however you want. All right. Let me get back to the chat room here. Okay, so my new mic will be here in a couple days. Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking. All right, guys. So please, no spoilers in the chat for WrestleMania. I would ask, please. I will watch it at some point. Laugh at me if you want to. So let's talk a little bit more about this Eaglestaff. And, you know, I think there's a lot to put together here. You know, you start putting this class together and it's starting to look really good. Obviously, I think there still needs to be another big involved. Like, you know, if I had it my way, I think Fetty Federico would be a great piece to add. Would love to have, you know, Smurf Millender added to this as well. And a few others, right? I will try to get an Eaglestaff interview. I sent a couple texts out already, but I have a feeling that I think maybe Brad from Voice of Morgantown might have the inside track there. We'll see. I certainly don't want to step on anybody's toes if that's what's happening, but I will do my best. I'll try to make it an NIL deal with that. I've already worked out I've got another NIL deal I'm going to do here shortly as well, by the way, with a football player, but we'll talk about that another time. So I really like the way this team is coming together, guys. I think with Eaglestaff, you've got a proven scoring wing and a guy that can play right beside Huff. And then you look at Jasper Floyd's a really tough point guard and a guy that is a pretty good distributor of the ball. Would I prefer him to come off the bench as the sixth guy? I would, probably, or seventh. If they could get Smurf Millender in here, then you're really starting to talk about a high caliber scoring offense. You know, Smurf all being only 5'10", 5'11", I've talked about it a couple times. He's a really good defender for that size, though, so it's kind of misleading. But you can still get mismatches on guys that are that size. It's just physics. So, you know, I mean, having a lineup with 2 5'11" guys would be difficult at times, but also I think, you know, you talk about the per possession. If you got 2 guys that can shoot 40+ percent from 3, which those 2 do, over 40%. Most shoot 43% or better from 3, actually, better than close to 50%, guys. Now that's going to drop in the Big 12, probably closer to 40, but still, let's say they both shoot 40 even. That's elite. And having 3 guys, if you count Eaglestaff, well, he doesn't shoot 40 though, but like Eaglestaff is such a high, you know, such a big shot taker and maker. You know, he's the guy you give the ball to during situations where you needed to ISO somebody, or maybe you put him in the corner and you let a guy like Millender. If I'm not saying Millender is even going to be on here yet, but you can let a chance, or an Honor Huff. I keep wanting to call him Chase for some reason. Honor Huff, you can let him go to work. Like there's a bunch of dudes that on this roster as is, and that's not even considering Moore. Guys, Moore might end up being one of our more underrated players this year. I really love that signing. He's a good player. I really loved watching his tape the other day. I'm going to try to get speak with these guys all individually and get some tape that's not like ESPN, because I can't play it on here. It's like it's got a digital watermark. So, because I hear some people tell me to turn the volume off and different things, but there's really nothing you can do unless I showed it to you on my phone like this. It's got a digital watermark that YouTube picks up and flags as copyright. So, and I can't do that at Locked On. If it was my own personal show, I took more chances back then when it was Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. I can't do it now because Locked On will get upset with me, which they should. It's their product. So obviously, let's talk about the roster, though. I don't have every name in front of me. Matt, hurry up real quick and write the names in the chat for me of everybody that's transferred in. That way I can just have something to reference, because I don't have it here in front of me, and I don't want to. Actually, I think I have it right here. Oh, okay. Here we go. Treyson Eaglestaff, Jasper Floyd, Honor Huff. You've got Moore, Obioa, Brennan Laurent. I don't have all the names. Oh, Jackson Fields. That's what that is. Okay. So, it's going to be fun to try to put a five together now out of this group. And I would like to add Millender to it, but I haven't spoke to him enough to have a sense, like there was pretty, like I told some people 95% when they would ask me in my DMs, like I had, and you guys know who you are, like 30 of you this week have asked me in the DMs, like what's going to happen with this. I didn't have the best inside info on this one, but I had a good, I knew a couple people that did. And then just situationally, the way it played out, it's pretty obvious that it was going to be Eaglestaff to West Virginia. So, I'll add Millender to this list just for fun. So let me write it down. So at the one, just with this squad, I would have to go, I don't know what their preference is as a staff, but I would imagine you'd either have Millender or Huff at the one. I'll put Millender there for now. You got Huff at the two, Honor Huff. Smurf Millender at the one, Honor Huff at the two. Eaglestaff at the three. You've got Brennan Laurent or Jackson Fields at the four. And I really do mean an or on that. I don't know which one would win that. Or actually, no. That's the tough one, because you might go more at the four if you're going to go a little bit smaller, more scoring. But if you're going to go defensive, I don't know. It's a tough pick, because I think Moore would be your absolute leader off the bench. Maybe you need him for the bench. I don't know. Chance Moore, that is. So I'll say Laurent probably wins at the four, right? And then you've got at the five, Harlan Obioa for now. And that's a fun first five. Now, where this team would get dangerous is you're talking about at 6, 7, and 8, you've got so I don't see, you don't have a point to run really. I guess you'd have Jasper Floyd running point for the second group. You would have probably Jackson Fields would be at the 4 there, or Obia, or either there or at the you got Moore at the 3, or at the 3 in that second group. You got Floyd at the 1. You got, so it's coming together. Obviously we still have to add 4, then you can have 15 now. So It's coming together, and I don't think it's done yet. Like I said, I do think now. I was told by an industry person yesterday that Federico is going to command $1 million. If that's the case, I don't know that we can afford him or not. I do think we should sink, at least $1 million into a big, though, if we can. And I mean, they're spending some money here, guys. Like, you got to think, like, let's say they have 5 to 7. If they've got 7, I feel much better about this roster, because I think that gives you enough for Millender for sure, who is going to command, in that probably 7 to 8 range, I would say. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's closer to 5 or 6. But hopefully they've got 7. Because in order to add another big to this roster, you're going to have close to $7 million, I think, which would put them right there at the top 15 or 20 in the country. I would imagine even now they're closing in on it. I'd say they're probably close to 4 now, right? So you better have close to 8, 7, whatever. I think it's possible. We'll see. People are asking about Eddie Lampkin. Of course, I would love to add Eddie Lampkin. Yeah, I think he's waiting on an extra year. And yeah, I don't see us holding on to. Well, but you can have 15 people though now, so there's not this necessary, like when you only had 12 or 13 on a roster. When you've got 2 or 3 guys that are just practice players, that really affects your roster, because then you've really got to refine it, and then you can have like 10 guys that you really got to pay. Now you can have, 3 guys that are just practice players. You still got 12 spots for everybody else. So it's not as big a deal, but what it does do is for the teams that are really rich, you can essentially have three different rotations. I don't think that's ever been employed before, really, but you could. It'd be interesting. Duncan Powell and I just talked, not even a couple days ago. It's funny somebody mentioned that. He just decommitted from somewhere. I think it was Georgetown. Duncan Powell is a dude that I really like him a lot. I know his agent too. Actually, I have his agent's number on my phone right now. I could definitely call him. Maybe I should. I mean, I don't know what I can't get him here, but I could always check in. Sometimes I have done that a couple times. Like, hey, just if they did, would you be interested in West Virginia if they reached out? Like, and I've had a couple people say yeah, and then they never did. And a good example of that is J.J. Roberts, who did come on a visit to West Virginia, but it wasn't serious. They didn't offer him. And then he turns out to be the best safety in the Sun Belt and is on draft boards today. But I mean, you can't get everyone. I get it. But we'll see what happens here, guys. Let's go to break. We get done. We'll put a bow on this episode and go to bed. Stick around, guys. This is a Locked On West Virginia late night episode. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Game Time. There's nothing like the atmosphere of the NBA playoffs. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena, and with Game Time, you can be part of it with the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Game Time makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when the demand is high. Prices on the app actually go down as tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Guys, all-in pricing is a great feature that I really like there, because no surprise fees at checkout. What you see is what you get, and that's what you pay. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account. Use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your very first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, create the account, redeem the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off, and download the Game Time app today. You can get last-minute tickets at the lowest prices, and that's guaranteed. And ask yourself the question of questions, John. What time is it? It's game time. All right, guys. As we roll through here, we're in segment 3, talking a little bit about West Virginia basketball and the addition of, you know who, Treyson Eaglestaff. Now, there are some pictures that I've been messaged. Somebody messaged me um, while I was there. It is. There's a picture of him there. So let's share a screen. I'll show you guys a picture from Joe Tipton of Treyson Eaglestaff in a West Virginia Mountaineers uniform. How about that? Beautiful, guys. Look at the size of those hands. Big hands. So that means that he's going to be able to grip and rip it. Like I heard whenever Russell Wilson was in the draft coming out of Wisconsin, I'll never forget this because he was so short. People were saying like, man, I just don't know if he's going to be a good player, blah, blah, blah. And I'll never forget John Gruden said his hands are 10 and a half inches big or whatever it is. They were, I think they were 10 and a half. He said he can grip it and rip it. And that's all that matters. And he was right. Definitely. Because if you got big hands, it don't matter how tall you are. You can grip that ball and toss it. Similar with basketball, man. Having big hands gives you such an advantage. As we saw with Jordan, and you see it with other guys on dunks and different things, it's just more manipulation of the ball. Oh yeah, he did beat West Virginia in that bowl game. I shouldn't have even mentioned Russell Wilson. So there he is. There's the man in the flesh. He's a rich man now. Well, I mean, for today's, I don't know if you consider 1.5 or 2 really, really rich, but former South Carolina commit. That's wild because he didn't even really go there. You know, I mean, I guess technically, bro left for South Carolina for West Virginia, loser mentality, Harvey Fent. You guys want me to reply to him live? Oh, somebody already did. Somebody already did. They put West Virginia's up next to South Carolina's. It's really not close. That's great. Oh, that's good. Pretty funny. Here's some Treyson Eaglestaff stuff. As I scroll by, you can see. So here he is, guys. And, I mean, look at that step back 3 from a mile away. Yeah, these are great. I don't know if this can't be ESPN. So let me pause this really quick as we check these out. Somebody posted these. So here's a couple of things from Eaglestaff. If you haven't seen it yet, here you go. Check these out. So if you're listening on podcast right now, Treyson Eaglestaff is about 6'6". He played point guard for North Dakota a lot last year. Here he is at the top of the key, initiating the offense. He's got the dribble between the legs, a little hesitation, and then he heads right, which is nice. He bounces behind the back, pull up from way back, 3 made. Here he is, another big step back and a quick pull. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Did you see that shot right there? Watch how quickly he lets loose of the ball. And then watch, I don't know if it'll show it on this one. When he shoots it from the mid-range, watch how slow and controlled he lets it go. His shot release is very controlled and is situational. You don't see it with everybody. A lot of guys have the same flick almost no matter where they're at. So first of all, look where he starts the step back and look where he ends up at. He starts it about 3 feet in front of the 3-point line.
A little bit.
Ends up 4 feet behind the 3-point line. So he probably steps 7 feet right there. Look at the separation he gets. See how quick that release is though? Let me play the full clip for you. Right here. Step back, boom, it's gone. Quick, right? So those are nice. There's another one real quick. Okay. Well, no, that's not it. As you see him get to the rim there, there's another real quick one. I don't know if it'll show another one, but yep. See, okay, there it is. So as you can see, the next to the last clip is a very, very quick shot, right? Boom, it's gone. And it's gone. And then you can see on this little pull up here, watch how more controlled and just a little bit slower the shot is. See how he rises up and then lets it go because it's a mid-range shot, right? You you have to be a little bit more controlled with it. So watch it full speed. And maybe I'm the only nerd that cares about this. See how it's a little bit more controlled and slower. I just found that to be interesting because you know that just shows you how much control he has over his shot, guys. Really good stuff there, and this is an incredible ad for us. Obviously, he's going to be something to watch. I hope he gains some weight. You know, even if it's 10 or 15 pounds, love to see him add some muscle. Other than that, though, guys, I don't have a lot else. I appreciate you for joining. We got him. This is a big day for West Virginia basketball and us, and it's going to continue to go. We got Millender. We're going to be in here tomorrow. I showed everybody the screenshot in the last show. He's going to be in Morgantown tomorrow. So at least according to him, 2 days ago now. Things can change, and maybe he doesn't come for some reason. But as far as I know, he'll be there tomorrow. So let's wait and see what happens with him as well, because he's as big a get as any other one we got except Treyson, really. He would be a huge get for us as well. So a lot to follow along with. If you can do me a big favor, guys, like the video before you leave. It's 11:30 at night. I stayed up just refreshing like everybody else did, hoping this would happen, and now it's happened. Subscribe if you're new. If you're just now finding me out, hit that subscribe button. It's free. It's just like hitting follow. And then share the video out is the biggest thing I could ask for, guys. And this is a big one. If you have time tonight, you know, just go up here and copy and paste the link in the box up above, and put it in a Facebook post or in, you know, like an X post or something like that. And you could just title it like, you know, Mountaineer Paul talks about the new edition of Eaglestaff, or you could just put the Eagles landed or whatever above it. But I would really appreciate that, guys. It would help me and get this video out to a lot of people, and it would mean a lot to me. So Discord links in the chat if you want to go there. Thank you, Shaq, for putting that in there. Thanks, Dylan. Thanks, Raven, and everybody that always helps with all that stuff. Love you guys, man, and I will see you all tomorrow, as we're going to have a lot more to talk about. We're going to have an All-American linebacker on campus tomorrow, from a kid from South Dakota. We've also got Smurf Millender on campus as well tomorrow. And also West Virginia has offered a Louisville linebacker that I had just gotten in contact with about an hour ago, and he had a ton of production for them last year. So there's a lot going on, a lot to keep track of. If you want to know what's going on and you want to have instant reaction to everything, we go live 7 days a week here, every single day. We don't miss a day unless it's extreme, or every now and again, once every 5 or 6 months, I might take a day off. Other than that, we're here every day. We'll find something to talk about because I can gab with the best of them. I'll see you guys on the next one, guys. Have a great Easter. Hope your holiday was well. Hope you had family and love surround you today. And I'll talk to you later, guys. We got him. I'm out of here. Hulkamania.